What's up, everyone? Tanya here with another episode of Pop Culture at Home, and today we are welcoming one of my favorites, starring in the new Netflix original Tiny Pretty Things, out December 14th, the one and only Lauren Holly. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us today.
That's such a nice intro. Thank you very much.
So, before we talk about the show, it's been such a different year for a lot of us, and thankfully we're almost done with 2020. So how have you and your family been coping amid this pandemic?
It's hard. It's really hard. It's an ongoing process. I feel like I've been on sort of a roller coaster, to be honest. When it all started, I had all these great intentions, and I was going to use the time being locked at home to clean out closets and work out, and that didn't last really long.
Yeah.
It's like it's a process.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a process, and that we're all. I'm glad that we're all in it together, though.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows we all have to deal with this at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And it's, a lot of things that we've been doing during quarantine. Obviously, we've been binging a lot of TV. And I feel like one of the shows that we have perfect timing for now to end off this year is this one, Tiny Pretty Things with Netflix. Mm-hmm. And it's such a guilty pleasure. I feel like I've already watched the first few episodes, and I can tell you right now, it is intense. It is dramatic, and there's so many things going on. So, they're based on books, obviously, and they're very beloved books. So what should fans of the book and new viewers expect from the series?
Well, first of all, let's be honest, the dancing is spectacular. Mm-hmm. And just that alone is really worth sort of watching. But then the naughty relationships of all the characters, and it's, sex and suspense and backstabbing and surprises and all of that. And I kind of really get involved in that. I love those sort of shows. You just don't know what's going to happen and who's going to end up with who and all of that.
So how familiar were you with the books before signing up for the series?
Well, I wasn't really, to be honest. And I still have not read the books, which was a specific choice, only because when it all came about and came to me, my character isn't in the books. And I thought, I don't want to I was building a character, and I didn't want to be influenced in a way. Mm-hmm. And so I bought the books. I have them, but I'll wait till it's over before I read them.
So, you play the ambitious and mysterious Madame Dubois, and tell us what attracted you to playing such a dark role. I feel like she's a very interesting character. There's so many layers to her. So tell us about her.
Well, you're going to really go on a ride with her, because you said that you've watched a couple of episodes. Just you wait to see what goes on with Madame. But I think, first of all, I'm so thrilled to be playing her, because it's at a perfect sort of time in my life. I'm not sure that even a couple of years ago I could have played her, or I would have understood her in a way, because for me, she was a prima ballerina. She was a star in an era, and she's in a different era, and she's got to sort of figure out how to stay relevant and keep things going. And there's a lot of parallels, obviously, with me and my life and my business. And I also, it's so thrilling to have a character that's so complicated. She's, because that's really how people are. People aren't all good or all bad. You react to situations with the tools that you have from the experiences that you have. And that is definitely Monique. She is a complicated woman, and I adore playing her.
Mm-hmm. And, you get to also work with some really fun, talented actors in the cast. And, what was it like working with a lot of these relatively new stars, too, who are going to become up and coming?
It was really, I would say that was probably my only worry going into this, that a lot of them, I refer to them as kids, my kids, which is kind of a joke because they're all adults, but I just adore them so much. A lot of them didn't have a ton of experience in acting. And I was worried about that, how, that would be. But the difference is that they are all at the top of their craft in dancing. And this is something that took enormous amounts of discipline from when they were very young. And so their work ethic was so incredible, and they attacked the written material with the same sort of focus. Yeah. And you just watch them. I mean, they are full on incredible actors. By the end of the season, they just it's really good. And it was a pleasure to sort of be around and to have them work. And on the show, there's all the faculty too. There's all the, our adults, and the show is just peppered with one good actor after another. I mean, it was a great team.
Yeah. And, the dancing is like something we were talking about. Like, it's so good and it's so perfect. And so I'm sure you guys had like a ballet instructor also, like kind of with the form and everything.
Oh, they worked so hard. People won't even know, because it was every single day. If they weren't in a scene, they were in training. They were working with choreographers. They were learning the numbers. They were warming up. It was just, they were on a treadmill that you just couldn't believe. And like I said, they are really at the top. I mean, Barton, as an example, who plays Oren, he's the principal dancer at the Met. Like these are, and I tell the story frequently of the first scene that I was in that there was dancing, and it was Tori doing a rehearsal on a stage, and I was standing just off stage, and hearing her breathe because of the effort of what she was doing, and watching it up close, because I've never been that close to someone who is actually performing at such a high level. I immediately burst into tears. Like, I was overcome with emotion. It was crazy. Just beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's breathtaking. Like, I think we've all dreamed of wanting to be ballerinas at one point in our life. I know I have. And so watching it is just like mesmerizing, like seeing everybody just nail every step. And I can't imagine how you feel watching it up close, because, it's an experience. But, one of the things I really love is how Chicago plays a big role in the backdrop of the show, but it's also shot in Toronto, which is our city. So what was it like filming in what is now your home city, and, going back and forth between Chicago and Toronto?
Well, first of all, I was thrilled to be able to be on a show that shot where I lived. Like, it was so nice, because I'm so used to traveling and living in hotels and, whatever. So it was really nice to just be able to go home at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I didn't go to Chicago on this show. My character doesn't go. They were, for all of them, it was like the most fun. And I'm never not going again, because I'm just going to go along, even if my character doesn't have scenes there, because they just were able to shoot at the most iconic locations and had a great time.
And, I have to say, you've got your own sense of style, which I love. And especially in light of your past collection with Le Chateau, Lauren's Closet, I'm wondering, how do you bring a sense of style to Madame Dubois, since she is a new character and she's not in the books?
Oh, I was in the incredibly capable hands of Deborah Hansen, who is our designer, who is a force. And just such a pleasure to work with. She just helped me create this woman so much. And, Deborah is an incredible designer. She won the Emmy last year, so people recognize this. But it wasn't even just that department. Every department on this show, I mean, you've seen it, the production design, the director of photography, it's just spectacularly beautiful.
Yeah. Did you get to take any of the outfits home? Because there are so many pretty ones that you've been wearing.
I didn't, but I'm sure that I will at some point. Okay. I definitely will. I know that Deborah's keeping a little closet for me, so that is good.
Good. So, speaking of style and fashion, you have your own sense of style, which I've said. Would you ever like to collaborate with any other fashion brands after that whole Le Chateau Lauren's Closet collection?
I had a really fun time with them, and you never know what the future will bring.
Yeah.
It all just depends on the situation, because the truth is there are so many talented people who, and I just don't consider myself one of them, in fashion. And I guess I do have my own sense of style, but it tends to be very basic. So I you never know what will happen.
Mm.
But
Well,
I'm sort of, I love it. I
mm.
do love it.
I feel like I can see you like in a sort of collaboration with RW and Co. because they're
Oh,
so, yeah, they're really good here. Like I think you've seen their clothes and their fashion, so
mhm,
I feel
mhm.
like you could be a great spokesperson for
Oh, that's cool. All right. Well, we'll just put that out in the universe.
put it out in the universe, exactly, like a vision board. So one of my other favorite shows, and that I know all the readers have also loved, was Designated Survivor. And
Mhm,
how it ended, your character Lynn, she was convinced by your TV husband Anthony Edwards to run for Senate. And so, in an art imitates life sort of thing with now Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Would you
mhm.
like to maybe see a spin-off of, Lynn with her character going forward, maybe going up in the ranks?
Oh, I'm a political junkie. I'm
Yeah.
a political junkie. For the past 4 years, I've been so,
Hmm.
it's been I'm not sure a good thing for my life, to be honest, because of the anxiety that it's caused me.
Mhm.
But I love that political world. I'd love
Yeah.
to get back involved in that for sure.
Yeah, and that was such a good show. Like I feel like it was so apt for the time, and
Mhm,
I would love to see you flourish again in something like that, especially with like now we have this history making win, which is
mhm.
still something to be happy about and proud of. So,
Yes.
and I know you are a dual Canadian and American.
Mhm.
So, when was that you decided to change? Like you wanted to get dual citizenship?
Well, I have to be honest, I've always been a very proud, patriotic American, so proud of my country. And I've had a hard time the last 4 years. This has been a real devastating, not what I felt at all. And a couple of years ago, realizing that I was feeling very at home in Canada, I've sort of built a life here and have close friends and work and all of that. And I thought, I'm not sure what's going to happen in America, and I'd be foolish not to become a citizen here. So I went through, and when I was actually got to the ceremony, it was incredibly emotional for me. I loved it, and I'm so proud to be a Canadian citizen now.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm also back to having really lots of hope for the future of my home country. So I'm a proud flag waver for both.
Mhm. Well, I love that because obviously I was born here and I love
Mhm,
hearing that about you. So,
mhm.
before I do let you go, 'cause I've had so much fun talking to you, I have to ask Dumb and Dumber. I watched that movie when I was like, I think 10 years old.
Yeah,
So it's been a
yeah,
long time, but it's now hitting almost 30 years, with the movie
yes.
loved by fans. And
I
now
can't believe that. It's
yeah, it's
crazy.
crazy. It is crazy. And the thing is, it's got a second life now with streaming, which is
Mhm.
so cool because you have all these new young fans watching it. So,
Yes.
how did you feel like to see this movie get a resurgence with streaming?
I feel so fortunate to
Mhm.
have been a part of such an iconic comedy. Like it is, um, I'm just so thankful. And it was such a fun experience. And I too, I think the movie is hilarious.
Mhm.
I don't mean to sound, egotistical when I say that, but I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And I, there's not many of those comedy movies that make me actually laugh that hard.
Yeah.
And I'm thrilled that people just continue to find it and love it.
Yeah, I feel like there hasn't been anything that's really topped that kind of comedy. Like it's slapstick, kind of like Marx Brothers, and like it's very different than what the comedies are today. So I still love it. Like I know that's like a quotable movie, I think, too, with a lot of my friends. So
Yes, yes.
yeah, I'm so excited for you and everything that you've been doing. So Lauren, it's been such an absolute pleasure chatting with you today. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you so much for having me.
Yeah, I've had so much fun talking to you. I feel like we should never stop
We should just
talking.
keep talking.
Yeah, keep talking. So Tiny Pretty Things is out December 14th on Netflix. You do not want to miss it. And for more with Lauren, everything Netflix and all your favorite shows and stars, keep it locked to popculture.com.